Every charity shop I go to, my first point of call is always the haberdashery, sewing and craft section. It's never the garments, it's never the tops or the dresses or anything like that. It's always the sewing section and wool section, because there's so much you can get from a charity shop. You will be surprised at what's donated and what's being sold on. And generally speaking, it should be cheaper, but if you're worried, then it's always worth checking it out, doing a quick scan online, you know, see whether the price is actually better than what you might get somewhere else, which is probably a little bit cheeky. But anyway, I'm a cheapskate. I like to get things as cheap as possible. So some of the pieces I've actually bought at a charity shop I did show in my last video, the sewing resources, but I thought I'd take you through some of the prices now. So for example, modern day patterns, that cost me £1. That is a modern pattern. The shirt dress, £1. That was £1.50. That was probably the most expensive I've gone to, is £2. And honestly, if there's anything above £2-ish, unless it's really special in a pattern, I probably won't buy it, because it's, you know, it's a second-hand pattern, or well, it can be a new pattern, but yeah, if it's above £2, I'd probably stay away from it. Books. These two books I mentioned again in my last video, Pattern Magic. So these books actually retail at £19.95. I picked them up for £1 each at the charity shop. It was right at the bottom of the bookcase, and I saw Pattern Magic, and in my mind I thought, yeah, that's definitely got to be drafting or something like that. I picked them up. I recognised them from seeing them online, saw they were £1, and I straight away I bought them. There was no second guessing it. I knew these books were pretty good for drafting patterns and making patterns. So yeah, I mean, £1, that's probably, you know, brilliant in my opinion. That's brilliant. I rarely buy new patterns, and if they are new patterns, they're generally on sale, because I like to save as much money as I can. So finding patterns in charity shops, it's just, you know, it's like a little treasure trove. Some places I've been might just have something like 4 or 5 patterns. Other charity shops, they've got boxes full of them, 2-3 boxes full of second-hand patterns that have just obviously been donated. And when I've gone to a charity shop close to me, and they said, oh, we haven't got many, try so-and-so down the road, another charity shop, they've got loads of patterns. So it's nice to know that sometimes they work, you know, between each other. Every charity shop I've been into lately has sewing patterns. If they're vintage patterns, be aware of the sizes, but they can generally be adjusted. I'll go through adjusting vintage patterns in a later video. So yeah, just don't think this pattern's going to fit you exactly as it comes out. You know, you might need to do some adjustments to it, especially vintage patterns, because their sizes differ. But you can find new patterns in charity shops as well. I was surprised when I started finding more newer patterns, modern patterns, rather than just vintage patterns. And they're unused as well, so they're fresh and brand new. And haberdashery. Buttons, zips, needles, threads, fabric, scissors. I've seen some really good fabric scissors in the charity shop before. Didn't buy them because I've already got a good pair, but I have seen good fabric scissors. Yeah, you can find haberdashery and equipment in charity shops. Sewing machines and overlockers you can find in charity shops. You know, you're taking a bit of a gamble there. If you buy it, it might not work. You might have a local repair guy that can get it working for you again. So, and it could work out a lot cheaper than buying a new machine, especially if you're starting out. You might be looking at cheaper options just to make sure that you can get the hang of it. So check out the charity shops local to where you are for sewing machines and overlockers. There's options there. Wool as well, or paper crafting, they generally have, obviously it depends on donations, it does depend on donations, but you'll probably be able to find some really good crafting equipment in there as well. So before you go to maybe a bigger online store or a website, try your local charity shops as well, because it's supporting the high street. And see what you can find in there. You know, have a good rummage, have a good look around, see what there is, you know, is to offer. And it's worth remembering that donations to these charity shops come in all the time. So what might be there one week, you might get something different there the next week. So don't give up hope if you don't find something straight away from a charity shop. I understand it might not be for everyone. Some people don't like going to charity shops. Personally, I find them cheap places to get sewing equipment or sewing patterns, so I like to have a look around, and it's a bit of like a you know, oh, what will I find sort of thing. So yeah, I understand it's not for everyone. But thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like and comment if you like this video, and I'll see you next time.